Apollo 69. Apollo 69.
All right. There we go. Hello, everyone. Surprise, surprise. It's not your usual start to the stream today. It's me. I'm Spyran. Hello. You might not know me. Although if you do know me, you'll know me of exclamation mark Spyran fame in the chat. There we go. Sir Squawk already on it. Thank you for stopping by. That's me. So, we're here today to... Oh my goodness, hydrates. I don't have any water. I didn't come prepared with water. Oh no, okay. I'm very sorry. So, we're here today to do some video editing. So, who am I guess, first of all? I am an IT technician by trade, but on the side, as a hobby, I like to do video editing. Done various bits and pieces for British Esports on a voluntary basis, as well as just some other bits and pieces kind of, I don't know, just everywhere really. I've done all sorts of stuff. If you'd like to see more, check out my website. It is in the Twitch chat just there. Very good. Also worth noting, I am indeed representing the British Esports today in fashion as well. I'll give this a little spin so everyone can see. Fantastic new collection at raven.gg. Make sure you go check out the new British Esports collection there. Definitely not a sellout, but I did buy this purely to make it everyone look good today. So there you go. Brilliant. Right. So what are we going to do today? Sorry. So essentially, I'm going to show you a few things in terms of video editing, explain a few of the concepts behind things, a few basic kind of tips and tricks, and we're basically going to edit a video together live on stream, or edit in essence, we're going to edit two videos almost. It's the same video, but in two different forms. What does that mean? You're going to find out. Isn't that exciting? So, I can see everyone in the chat. Welcome, everyone. I'm very excited to have you here. So, to begin with then, let's start with a bit of a concept. So, concept. You've been sent a video, or you yourself have recorded a video. The video the game I'm going to be using today is Valorant. Very popular game. I hope you're all enjoying Valorant. I've been playing Valorant a lot recently. Gold 2 everyone, so representing. So imagine you're playing a game of Valorant. You've just made a very exciting ace. You just got all 5 kills. It was very PogChamp, and now you want to make it into a little video. So the flex. It's not really a flex, but so let me go ahead and bring this up. So here we are at the cinema. There's the little editing screen that I'm going to be working with today. But first of all, we need to watch this video. So here's the video that you've recorded. Let's have a see. Here it is. So I apologize. There might be some bad language in this. But it's not me. I promise. Here we go. We'll watch this together.
One's going into showers.
Omen in the showers.
One's in showers, yeah.
Two showers.
And Jet is as well.
Race is flanking.
One more in there. Nice, Mo! Ace!
What the fuck, bro?
I want to clear this up, get this elo.
How did you go for Jesus fucking Christ.
Maybe you will.
Thought I had one more round to save my game.
Let's go.
Wasn't that excellent?
Well,
Wasn't that excellent, everyone? What a great play that was. So that's the video you've recorded or been sent. Or there you go. And so you've been sent that, or you filmed that yourself, and now you're thinking, right, well, I want to turn that into some sort of video. Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So I guess there's a few different things that you could potentially turn this into. The two examples I'm going to use today are either if you want to use it in some form of montage, so you want to make, you've probably seen them all on YouTube a million times, the flashy montages where everything's synced to the music and it's getting you hyped, and it's like, whoa, 10 kills here, 30 kills here, wow, this headshot across the map, through the wall, bang. So there's that, or perhaps it's just part of like a little highlight reel, and it's just like, oh, here's just a nice play as part of like some video series maybe you're doing. So those are the two examples I've got for you today, and we're going to essentially make both of those from scratch, as well as going over like a few concepts and a few other different bits and pieces. So the first concept is the so just apologies as well. You're going to hearing a lot of noises like that just because with Adobe After Effects, because it plays music in real time, as I flick through the timeline here, it's going to make a bit of noise. So don't worry too much. It's nothing that's going wrong. It's just part of this. This is Adobe Premiere Pro, for everyone unfamiliar with the software. A lot of the concepts, though, that I'm going to cover apply across multiple video editing softwares. So don't worry too much if you don't have Adobe Premiere Pro. It's just what I like to use personally. But like I say, a lot of the things that we're going to be doing today, you can apply them across all different kinds of video editing software. So let's quickly flick back to the cinema because we've got a little video to watch. So this is the example of a montage. Perhaps you wanted to make it into a montage. This is what it might look like. Okay, so simple as that. Simple as that. Let's watch that again. Okay, excellent. So there's that. Or perhaps, like I said, your other example is perhaps you want to make it into some sort of like little highlight clip, like a stream highlight or something. So this is my example of a stream highlight. Here we go. British Esports official. No. It would be good if it didn't throw a fit. So this is a little bit of a problem. Sometimes it can be a bit unpredictable and stuff doesn't always work straight away. So hold on, we'll try that again. Oh, we've lost it. We've lost it. There we go. Let's try again. No, okay. It's not one to do it. Imagine that's very good. Let's skip past that little red. I think it's because of this stupid thing. Hold on. I'm gonna fix it on the fly. This is it. This is what it's all about. We're gonna fix it on the fly. Let's fix it on the fly. Let me just double check, and I think it's the problem with this. It is. I'm pretty sure. Let me just try and change this to that. Okay, perhaps that'll work a bit better. Okay, it doesn't like that bit. That's fair enough. Right, let me just delete that, and we'll see if we can play as normal. Don't you love it when everything just goes to plan? Fantastic, fantastic. Okay. Come on now. Okay, there we go. He's figured it out. Right, let's watch it again. Fantastic. So that's that essentially. So that's what another example of something you might make with your editing software and other things you might put together. So let me get all my examples back up and then my demonstration bit there. There we go. Fantastic. And we'll go back to the chalkboard. Here we go. So yes, Premiere Pro is very expensive. And so if you don't have a lot of money to put towards it, I think Elliot is going to hit you up with some software. I can't remember the free one I used to use a lot is OpenShot, I think it was called. I've just had a quick Google of it. OpenShot. So OpenShot, check out OpenShot. I think that was the one I used to use back when I didn't have money, essentially. So there you go. Brilliant. Right. So as you can see, two different kinds of videos there, both using the exact same section of a video, but edited in two entirely different ways. So as you can tell, few differences. The first one, the montage clip, as I like to call it, Very much, everything's synced to the music. It's like supposed to get you hyped. There's lots of cuts, lots of different flashy bits and pieces going on. The second one, more chill. It's pretty much the clipping played in its entirety with a bit of an intro, a bit of an ending. To be fair, the montage one could have had a beginning and ending, but we're pretending that the montage is going like in the middle of a big section of clips. It's not just like the one, in essence. So there you go. So, how do you make these clips? That's what we're here to teach you today. Isn't that exciting? So, I guess we'll probably take a look at the which one's more. I know, chat. I'll let you decide. I've got an idea myself. Which one would you rather see us put together first, or which one would you rather put together first? Do you want the montage, flashy, cut one, or would you want like the chill, highlight style stream? What do we think? Does anyone have any personal opinion as to which ones they'd like to see first, or otherwise I'll just pick myself? It's totally up to you guys. Montage. Okay, everyone excited about the montage. Well, I did think the montage one is the cooler one. So the montage one. So with so again, if I gloss over anything that you might not understand, let me know, and I can sort it out, and I'll repeat back or I'll explain more what I'm doing. If there's any concepts that I'm skipping over, same deal. Just let me know, and I'll try and go back and explain what I did. I'll try and cover a lot of the things that I'm going to be explaining as I'm editing. So in theory, we shouldn't get too lost. But I've been doing this a while, so sometimes things that seem simple to me that aren't maybe simple to everyone else, I kind of gloss over. So in theory, we'll be able to get through this together. So first step is music. So I always like to start with music because music helps set the tone, I think, a lot of the times. So music, obviously music is going to all depend on what it is you're putting together. So with music, for a montage style video, it's got to be like bang, bang, it's got to be hype, maybe a bit of dubstep. Everyone likes a bit of dubstep, don't we? And it's got to be exciting, and it's got to be over the top in a lot of cases. So this, which one is it that I found? I believe it is this ice flow here. That's the one. That's the one. That is the one. Right. So first things first, anytime you want to throw something on your track in general, you'll have your track split up into two sections. You'll have audio tracks normally underneath and video tracks normally on top. So V for video, A for audio. That's fairly straightforward. So there you go. Normally, audio is very, very loud. Yes, the audio is very, very loud. So first thing you probably want to do is turn it down. So to turn it down on Premiere Pro, you can use this little thing to turn it up and down. You can literally just click and move your mouse while you're holding down the mouse, left mouse button. Just click and drag either side. Obviously, the lower the number is, the quieter it'll be. That's a bit more tolerable. So there you go. Fair enough, Sir Squawky. It's an interesting tune. It's a good tune. So we've got our music now. Let's just chop it down a little bit because this is a very, very long timeline. So timeline. So just go over another bit of basic stuff. So this, I'm pointing at the screen as if you can see, but this, here we go. Use the mouse, Spyran. Come on. The mouse. Here we go. This is your timeline, this whole area here. So timeline does exactly what it says. It's a timeline of your video, essentially. So your video starts on the left-hand side, ends wherever you want it to on the right-hand side, in essence. So you're dropping things in chronologically. That's as straightforward as it gets. So because the video is not long, we're going to shorten the music file down a little bit. So to shorten things in Premiere Pro, when you hover over the edges, you'll notice it pops up with this little kind of symbol here. If you then click and drag, it'll essentially shorten or lengthen it. It won't ever repeat, I don't think, if I remember right. It'll just kind of stop wherever it ends, basically. So if it's a music file like this, if I dragged it on forever, it'd just end at one point because that's like the end of the song. But we can shorten it down to about there. So music. So yes, music very important. You want to make sure you pick out some good music to make everyone very excited for all the sick headshots that you're hitting. So there you go. the next thing we need to do, obviously, is drop in the actual clip itself. So here we go. It's the Valorant Ace clip. It's in my little library here. You can also drag and drop things straight from like your documents or your videos, wherever it is on your computer. Literally drag and drop it straight onto your timeline. But because I've come prepared, it's already here. So you'll notice now when I drop this in, interesting, 2 bars. Well, that's because obviously the video is this bar here, the audio, this bar along the bottom. We're just going to mute that a little bit so it's not as loud. But there you go. So obviously that makes sense with what we learned earlier. Video's up here, audio's down here. Because it's video and audio, it just splits them separately so you can see. These will be linked initially. So when you move one, it'll move the other. So that way you're not moving stuff and stuff like desynchronizes itself. So you're not desynchronizing any music or game sound or anything like that. If you wanted to though, which in this case we are going to, because we want more so really the music to be the commanding noise, I guess, rather than the game sound. What I like to do, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the audio file. So normally you just think, oh, well, click on it, delete. Oh dear, where's our video gone? Ah, remember when I said it was linked? Control Z, undo. What a fantastic tool that is, Control Z. We're going to undo it. We are going to right click it and, that's interesting. Ooh, hold on. Okay, that's interesting. You can't see when I right click, you can't see the little window pop up. That's interesting. Okay, that is interesting. Right, let me fix that for you. I'm guessing we're going to need to go to display capture then. And maybe that's the best way to do it. Okay, and then we'll make this a bit smaller again. Perhaps this is the way to do it. I did not realise that it did not capture. And then let me just make that bit smaller so we can fit it all in nice and cleanly as we have done before. Fantastic. Okay, drop it down there. Brilliant. Okay, that'll do. So there we go. There we go. Now if I right click, you can see. Fantastic. Okay, there we go. So, oh no, we deleted the video file where we tried to delete the audio file. That's not good. Right click, unlink. So now you'll notice we can move one without affecting the other. So now, which means we can delete the audio file, video file safe in its entirety. There it is. Very good. Okay, so first step, get your music, get your clip in. We're going for it now. Here we go. So the next step, or the next thing I like to do is, okay, if we're wanting to sync things up to the music, first of all, we need to find the beats of the song. So when there's like a beat, and then a beat, and then a beat, what we can do is we can put markers down. So you'll see there's some already on, just because when I've done the example one, I put them on already. But you see these markers here, the little green tabs along the video there. That is a marker, but basically you can use to like snap to. So in most editing software, it'll snap to certain points, whether that's like the end of a video, the start of a video, or these markers that you place. You'll notice that when I move it here, that blue line, I'm pointing at the screen again, but the blue line that pops up, make sure if you're wanting it flush with that marker, if you want something to happen at that exact time, it'll do it for you. It's really, really handy like that. So first of all, we want to find the, if we just minimize, so you can use these, sometimes they have these little eye things just to kind of turn the view like on and off essentially, so you can see it or can't see it. So we'll just stick to the music for now. So here we go. Okay, so you hear those first 4 beats, the first kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to count it out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those first 4 beats. Right, that's what we want to sync the music up to, we've decided. Fantastic. So I'll tell you what, we won't do that because that won't make sense. So we found the 4 beats that we want to sync the music up to. So now what we want to do is we want those beats to sync with you hitting those fantastically clean headshots. How do we do that? So next thing we need to do, let's go along the timeline and find the kills. So here we go. That's a headshot there. So we hit the headshot there. Let's get rid of this other marker just here. Is it going to let me remove the marker? I don't know if it is, because it was being funny with me last time. It just kept deleting. Yeah, okay. We're going to ignore that first marker. But here you go. So, the first marker. In fact, do you know what? Hold on. Do you know what? Hold on. Mistake. I've just realised, I think. No, it's not that one. Hold on. This is it. Okay. Never mind. I found the right bit of music. I'm sure the music sounded different on the original clip. But here we go. We found the right bit of music now. So, you found a bit of the music that you want. That's it. So again, it's the beats. We've put markers on the beats. So now we want that to sync up with the music here. So we try and sync everything up. So we notice if you put markers on each side, so we put a marker on the headshot. So normally what you do is you click this little add marker, or you can click M if you fancy, to add the marker to the little spot there. Okay, you've done that. And so now when you drag, it'll sync up with where the line is there, and then we just extend it out so you notice now on that first kind of initial beat, that's when the headshot is hit. Okay, so now so we've done that. We look at the clip now. Okay, so the rest of it's kind of not in sync, so it kind of goes. It takes a little bit of time to get to that second kill. Okay. And although sometimes you can get lucky and it's in sync, and that's kind of in sync a little bit, but we want it to be straight on that second beat, so we want it to be there. That's where we want the kill to be. Again, bang. We want it to be somewhere there. This is a lot of when you're doing video editing, it's me sat here going, wow, making hand gestures and things, because I'm like, right, that's how it's going to be. So excuse me for that, but there you go. So here's a very exciting tool. The razor tool. So the razor tool you can use to essentially cut a clip at whichever point you want. So now this changes it from one entire long clip to two separate ones. So that's where one ends. That's where the second one ends. So excellent. So we've had that first clip. There it is. We want to then, that second bit, the second headshot, we know it comes here. So another tip, arrow keys are your best friend when you want to make tiny frame by frame jumps. Just use your arrow keys so you know exactly where it is. So brilliant. That's the second bit there. Let's go along to that bit and sync it up with that. So there we go. So you notice where the second beat is that we want it to sync up with. Oh, I think it's the third beat actually. Is it this one? It is. There we go. So whichever point you want the music to hit on, in my case, it's this third marker here. The marker that we've put on the kill, the second kill, we sync it up, line it up, and all of a sudden, bang. So even though it's a bit jumpy, it actually makes sense from kind of a musical perspective, because it's like bang and then bang, and it still looks good. And so you can take a bit of liberty with montages, I feel like, when there's cuts and like kind of, it might look janky normally, but with montage, I feel like you can take a lot of liberty with the stuff like that. So there you go. So that's our first two kills. So now the third kill. Bang. So it's that bit here. So this is the marker that's going to do our third bit. So let's cut that there. And let's go all the way along to wherever. Can you slow down the video until the second kill to avoid the cut and jump? You could do. So obviously this is up to you. And when you do this yourself, it's up to you to experiment. But you absolutely can do that. I'm going to show you, in fact, at one point, I do like speed up the video. So yeah, we do some time distortion, which will help make it less jumpy in some areas and speed it up and slow bits down to make sure things get to like a certain point when you want them to happen, essentially. So we're going to get to that. So me personally, I think it looks a little, it looked a bit funny the first time I did it when I tried it. So in the example, when we did it before, the cut, in my opinion, looked better. So the cut is the example I've used. So, but by all means, this is why we're doing it, so you can try it out yourself, so you know what to do when you get there. But you absolutely can. So let's go all the way to the third kill. Bang, there's the third kill. We've already got a marker on it, but if I didn't have a marker on it, you click the little marker button, add it there. Let's go over to that and drag it all the way back to where we want it to be here. So you'll notice it's very similar to the other video now, in a sense. Let me just open it up a little bit. So if you double click, so what I did there was I double clicked on the layer and it opens it up and you can kind of get a sea of, it doesn't really matter too much what you see, but you can get a sea. It looks a bit like an aimbot jump, and sometimes I think, yeah, exactly, that looks a bit better. Sometimes. It depends on the video. It depends on the video. It depends on your personal preference as well. Everyone's kind of got... You'll notice when you start video editing, I noticed very early on that I had kind of my own style, and so a lot of things that you do, you'll kind of do because it's like your thing, in a sense. So bang, bang, third one as well. So because I decided it took... If we undo that, so... There's a big amount of time that takes him to walk over here and get that second kill. So, I guess we're going to show you... Yeah, maybe I did. Okay, to keep it on the download, though. We're not going to tell Riot Games. Definitely not cheating. So, let's take that as an example then, actually. So, how about we do that? So, you guys say, right, well, maybe what if we wanted to speed it up? And we wanted to speed up that little bit so that on that marker, let me undo all the way back to here. There we go. So what we want it to, when it hit the third hit clips, we want all this to fast forward as opposed to jumping. Okay, well, let's give that a try. So the way we do that is we do a little right clicking. We go to, no, we don't, sorry. This little FX button. So this is, I think this might be specific to Premiere Pro, but there'll be other ways to do it with other editing software. But this little FX button, if you right click on that, you go to time remapping and speed. Okay, so now we can mess with the speed a little bit. If I control click, it'll create this little kind of like start point here. So this is where the speed starts. If I start moving this line now up and down, it'll make the video shorter because now suddenly the video is faster. So if that's still the entire length of that little section of time, but now it's just faster. So if I play it through quickly, whoa, he's running so fast. Wow, how's he doing it? Wow, okay. So now you get the point. He's running really fast now. So we want it. Let's have a think. Bang. So it's that marker there. We want it to stop at that marker there. So if you keep your little blue line, your little timeline line there, and you just kind of drag it up and let go. And you want to kind of match it up as close to that line as you can. There we go. So we've pretty much got it spot on there. And then we'll come back and grab... Oh, I've just undone it. Let's get that back. There we go. And then we're going to move this clip in to here. So this is where he gets the headshot then. He says. Hold on. That's not quite right, is it? Let's shuffle it back a bit there. Okay, it's like nearly there. So what's... It's missing a little bit. Okay, hold on. I think it's just because I've scuffed it a little bit. Let me just go all the way back. This is what we like. Control Z, always a great tool when things go a bit wrong. Let's go back. So here we go. We have the original clip. So it goes to there. That's when he comes around the corner, kills him. So we cut the video there. We go right click. Time remapping speed, it's already there, control click, and now we want that to be sped up all the way to this point just here. Might help if you zoom in a little bit. There we go. So I think that's pretty much it now. There we go. So we then sync that up. Let's have a watch now. Bang. So there you go. So if you want to do it like that, then of course you're more than welcome to. So that's exactly how you do that. So mess with speed, speed it up, and it just makes it get to that point much faster than before. So there you go. Then fourth kill. Okay, so we want him to come on this little bit here. We want him to get the next headshot. So again, let's have a look at what we did in here. So again, this was another example where we did just that basically. We sped up that little area, so we're going to do that again now for anyone who missed it. So that's where the kill occurs. Cut it there. This is all the time in between of him turning around to see him up on the boxes, to shooting him there, just at the bottom of the boxes. So let's now, we've done the time remapping there, so it's still on. So it's this little line again. Control click to get it get a starting point for it. Drag it up until it does. So Alt, when I do Alt and scroll, you'll notice we get a bit of a zoom in on the thing. So it makes it kind of zooms in on the timeline in essence. So it makes the clips a bit longer, so you can get a bit more accurate with your various bits and pieces when you're dragging stuff along. Let's not move that actually, just so we don't scuff anything. So I drag this up a little bit here. Keep dragging it, keep poking at it until, brilliant, we're in sync with the blue line. Let's have a look at how that looks. Okay, so yes, I realise what I've done wrong now. So, okay, undo, undo, undo. I forgot to cut it. So, he gets the kill there. That point there is pretty much the end of the kill, so we'll cut it there. And so, this point, this bit we want at normal speed. Up until, in fact, maybe like there. And then this is the bit where he turns around and we want it to speed up again. So, this is the bit that we're going to increase speed for. In fact, another handy tip actually as well, you don't even really need to control click, in all honesty. You can just kind of drag it all the way up and it'll do the same thing. The control just kind of, just so it doesn't like bend straight into like a sped up bit, just so then it can kind of play out a little bit and then start speeding up. Sometimes it's better to do that, just so you've got that little bit of time before it starts speeding up. Ah, okay, Sir Squawk. Yes, I'll try and hopefully come back to that later. Yes, that is a good question. So, bang. So it's now sped up a little bit. Brilliant. It's not quite enough yet. So we just want it to keep speeding up until we get to this little bit here. Bang. There you go. So there you go. So it's a very fast speed up, but it is all there. We'll play that again. There we go. And then the final kill. Let's have a look. How do we do this final bit? Ah, so the final bit. So sometimes it's very, very long. Sometimes the time between one kill and another kill is very, 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 very long. You'll notice. Wow. It takes a long time to be able before he goes back to get the final kill. So sometimes you can take a bit of artistic license, I guess, with your things. And you can say, right, instead of it being so entirely long that we speed up this entire bit and it's really, really fast, because obviously that whole bit's got to speed up in the time that it takes to go from that beat to that beat. That's going to look ridiculous. That's probably going to look too fast. So what we can do instead is go maybe just before the bit there and just after the bit there. All this, get rid of. Not important. Everything in between that, we get rid of. So now, it'll hard cut to... So let's see. Hold on. Don't move the marker. There we go. So now it'll hard cut to that bit. So, this bit maybe looks a bit awkward hard cutting. This is where transitions come into play. Now, transitions are very, very good. Normally, your editing software will come with some like pre-built-in transitions. If you're any good at After Effects or any kind of other like animation software, you can make your own transitions. But for this example, we're going to use a built-in transition, sorry, not transmission. We're not making any phone calls. So let's say we want to go to dissolve. We want to cross dissolve. So cross dissolve means it'll kind of fade out of one, fade straight into the other. Okay, brilliant. So let's have a look at that now. Cool. So there you go. So that's how you do a transition. This is your little transition here. If you go up into the top left on Premiere Pro and you go to Effect Controls, you can see it a bit more in depth. So you can see exactly kind of where the start and end of the cross dissolve goes. So if you want to make it a bit of a faster cross dissolve, you can drag each side in a little bit, so then it starts later and ends earlier, so it's a bit of a faster cross dissolve there. You can also change the alignment and things like that. Another thing you can do as well, in fact, we'll save that for the next. We'll save that for the. We'll save that for the next bit. We'll show that next time. But that's pretty much it, I think. So we'll get rid of all the excess because we're going to pretend there's some more montage clips coming. But I think you'll agree that that's pretty much it. So we're going to watch that again. There we go. Let's go back to the cinema screen and let's take a quick look at this. This is something we've made together, everyone. So you can be proud of this. Let's have a look. Wow, okay, ends a bit early there, but there you go. So, there we go. What do we think? I think that was pretty straightforward. Is there anything there that I glossed over or anything you'd want me to explain a bit more in regards to that example? Or do you want to move straight into the next example? It's totally up to you. So one question I will answer is Sir Squawk. So he asked, how do you go about editing a video where the audio of the footage is the more important aspect? So, obviously in this clip, we deleted the audio altogether because it didn't really serve a great purpose other than it had some people talking and it had the game sound. Sometimes the game sound would be good because you'd still want to get the kind of the gun sound as the gun shooting and the headshots. Or if you're wanting, like, say, for example, with another game, Rocket League, you might want the sounds of the ball hitting the cars still to come on. So one thing you can do, if I bring the original clip back in, so there's a demonstration. If I go back and bring that up, where's my little bits and pieces gone? Hold on, let me just reset it there. Brilliant, there we go. Okay, so if I bring... it depends, I guess, really, yeah. So, I guess, yeah, it depends on really what you're trying to do. So, for example, for this one, I don't know if this is exactly what you're asking, but, for example, with this particular clip, say you wanted, like, the gun sounds still to come in at a certain point. I'd say for montages, you're generally not looking for, like, caster voices or, like, other bits of game sound unless it fits the moment. So do you know in some like montage videos you might get like the slow motion kind of as the body hits the floor and it's the caster going crazy because he's just hit this crazy like 5k headshot. Sometimes you'll throw it in at points like that so you can cut and edit with where you want the caster audio or the other bits of audio to come in. Or for example, with this one, maybe you actually do want the gun sounds. So one easy way to do it, all right, so we'll do hard way first because the hard way we're not going to demonstrate. The hard way to do it is to go and find the gun sounds yourself. So with some games, I know when I had a look at editing Fortnite videos, wow, exciting. When I used to go and edit, when I went, and edited a Fortnite video one time, there was a collection of like sounds that someone had got. So it was all the different gun noises, all the different gadget noises, all the different everything noise to do with Fortnite. And so if you wanted to edit in after the fact a gun sound, instead of taking it straight from the game audio that you've recorded yourself, you can do it that way. So you drop in the gun sound. Say if it's for this one, it's the Vandal. So you say you have the Vandal gun noise, and you drop it in at where the Vandal would fire, and it sounds like it's coming from straight in the game, but it's clean because it doesn't have any of the other in-game audio going on at the same time. That's the hard way because sometimes for some games that stuff doesn't exist or it's just really hard to get hold of that. Easy way to do that is if we just clear all this out now, just so I can show you for the sake of this example before we go on to the highlights version of the bit we're going to do. Let me just make that a bit quieter. So there you go. So we've got the in-game noise. So bang, it shoots there. So what you can do is if we do get the music back in, is it this one? Is it this one? It is. Okay, don't cut it. Let's drag it all the way back over there. And drag it back. Come back to us. There we go. Fantastic. So say you still wanted the gun sounds because it sounds quite good when you've got the guns, when you've got them shooting there. So we want that to sync up, obviously. So we go to the point where it syncs up. Let's cut the video all the way down to that sync up point. Drag it across to the marker, and then we'll just extend it back out so there's a bit of filler beforehand. So there we go. So now he's got the gun noise. Let's turn the music back up a little bit. So you've got the gun sound there now. What you can do is literally just cut the rest of the sound around it if you wanted to. So if I unlink this again, just so the audio and video is separate. So there you go. So the only problem with this, it can be a bit unclean. So it's like bang, it shoots, and if you cut to the next bit, then there's no game sound, and it sounds a bit funny sometimes. So that's the only reason sometimes you may not want to use it. But you can just do that where you literally only have the in-game audio come in when you want it to come in, essentially, when you want the gun noise to be shot. So there you go. So it's literally no noise and then gun sound, and then it cuts out. So you can do it like that as well. So that's pretty much that. I think for the example 1. So example 2. So it's been a little while since we watched example 2. So let's quickly watch it again, dead quick. Here we are at the cinema still. So let's watch this again. Lovely logo there. So again, you'll notice in this one, the game audio is there. And it's quiet enough that you can't hear the random people speaking in the background. So that's pretty much it. So there's a few different layers to a kind like a highlight style video as opposed to like a montage. So instead, obviously you could do this as well with your what am I going to call it now? With your montage style video where you have an intro, little intro clip, and then your outro bits and pieces as well. But for the sake of, because the previous one we're imagining that's going to be like right in the middle of a montage video, I didn't add that. But in this one we're going to add it. So we're going to see how it works. So this is something I didn't cover last time, but layers. So you'll notice, okay, you've got this little video clip here, which is the British Esports Championships logo that comes in. And then underneath that, we have a second video clip. The second video clip being the actual video clip of all the in-game footage. Interesting. Why is that above that? Well, much like with everything, layers matter. So, everything in terms of video works with layers. So, if you've used things like Photoshop before, you'll be very familiar with how layers work. Whatever layer is on top will cover whatever layer is on bottom. Oh, I guess that way around for the camera. There we go. So, because video 2, V2, is the layer above V1, this British Esports Championship little video comes in over the top of this video, even when this video, you'll notice, has started during the end of where that finishes, if that makes sense. So that's why when it pulls away, there's a video underneath it, because there is literally a video underneath it. There you go. Very magical. So, let me get the demo back up. There we go. Clear all this out now. That's a little demonstration field. So, we want to make something like this now. We want it to be a little highlights clip. So, first things first again, generally I think it doesn't matter too much to find your music for this one because the music doesn't really matter all that much because it's just kind of a highlight thing. You still want it to be exciting, but the music doesn't matter all too much with this one. So, for this one we just found some nice music that can just kind of fill in the background. Which one is it? I think it's this one. I can never remember which. It is that one. Okay, there we go. So that's the music we're going to use for this particular video. Oh, hold on. We're not at the chalkboard. This is class time. We need to be back at the chalkboard. There we go. So that's the particular bit of music we're going to use. We need an intro first. Oh, in fact, no. We don't want the intro generally straight away. Let's get the video clip in because obviously if you've got a few things in your highlight reel, you're not going to know when it's going to start and when it's going to end. So we'll throw the clip in first. Again, game sound is underneath. You want that. So you'll notice I put the music at -27. So the in-game audio maybe just slightly louder. Let's try like -18. Again, a lot of video editing. You just got to play around with it until you find something that works. So it's just about testing. It doesn't work right. Test again. Change some settings. Test again until you get it right. It's a lot of just. That's why a lot of videos take a lot of time to edit. Sometimes even like 5 minutes of a little clip sometimes can take you so long because sometimes things just don't work or it doesn't quite hit in the way that you want it to. So it's just a lot of back and forth until you can get it until you get it right. So let's have a listen. That doesn't sound too bad. Game sound. That's maybe a bit too loud just because you can still kind of hear the people in game. So let's turn it down a little bit. So good question. Skengiwi asks, why is it negative numbers for audio? So audio by default is on 0. So anything when you turn it down, anything below that then jumps into the negative. So it doesn't mean it's like less than 0. So 0 in this case doesn't mean that it's dead silence. 0 in this case means it's kind of like the starting point of your music, of your audio. So it's whatever the general kind of audio sound is. So it goes into the minus then when you're turning it down until you turn it down so much that you can't hear it. So that's why sometimes you'll see it's a minus and it doesn't start like 100 and end at 0, like you'd normally expect like audio to do. So that's a little bit better. You don't hear the in-game people as much there. You can turn the maybe music up a little bit to fix that. There we go. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Golf. Do you know I don't play golf? Not to offend anyone, I find golf a little bit boring. Mini golf, that's pretty fun. But I'm not a golfing man, unfortunately. Sorry, Sir Squawk. But there you go. So that's your clip. Fantastic. So you've got your clip in now. Maybe there's a few more, but actually it's just going to be one highlight thing. So there you go. So now an intro. So intros are normally made separately. So if I drag this along, you can see all my different documents here. They're all very exciting. But if I go into my British Esports bits and pieces here, here's the British Esports intro. If I drag that and drop that in, there you go. So this came pre-made, ready to go. So you'll notice that because it starts on black, the background is by default is black because there's nothing there. But you'll actually notice when the video underneath starts, oh my goodness, all of a sudden that's too jarring. Oh my goodness, it's not starting at the right point. So generally, if the background is black in a video clip, it's sometimes because it's actually transparent, but it just defaults to black. So we obviously don't want the video to play until just as it's about to end there, because we want the highlight clip to start there if you want. So we move it along. Obviously the blue line, everything likes to stick to the blue line whenever you drag and drop it. So nice and easy, drag and drop, and the clip started. There's your little intro. Now say, if we start from the beginning, you'll notice the audio just kind of goes, and it kind of just starts from silence. Okay, maybe you don't like that. Maybe actually you prefer it to kind of build a little bit. So it starts a bit quiet and then kind of just builds in just a little bit. Sometimes it just makes it sound a bit nicer. Audio transitions, very good. Same as video transitions, they come normally pre-built into whichever software you're using. Sometimes it doesn't, and you can mess around with it a bit yourself, which I can show you a little bit how to do actually. But this one, here we go. Constant gain is what we want. So you'll notice now, maybe not as much just because it's not a super long bit. Ah, you hear it now. It's not quite as jarring a start. It like builds into it before it becomes then like full volume. Brilliant. That's a bit better. That sounds a bit nicer. So we've got an intro now. We'll go all the way to the end. It all looks nice. We just decided, you know what, we're happy to keep it as it is. We don't want to do any kind of chopping of the actual video itself. Now, we want something to kind of, we want this to fade out. So again, fading is a transition. We go to dissolve, dip to black. That's the one that will make it dissolve to a black nothing instead of it just kind of cutting. It'll then fade out, makes it look much cleaner. And then we want it to fade in to our little outro, I guess. So here's one I made earlier. A good reference for maybe some people who are a bit older who might understand where that comes from, but there you go. Here's one I made earlier. So this is a few different things. You'll notice there's 4 different kind of video layers there. So you've got on top the British Esports kind of text there, which are the top 2. So the top one is the blue where it says graphic there. Bottom one is the BritishEsports.org bit there. Text works in the same kind of way. So sometimes in most video things, you'll have a text tool. So you can click and type some text on here. Say if you wanted to say also, wow, great video. Okay, you've done that. And then you want to move it around perhaps. If you want to be a bit more precise with the movement, you can use this little effects control here. So this is a big, when you're animating stuff, this is where it can come in handy. So say you want wow great video to go from left to right across the top of the screen. Straightforward enough. So you click on wherever the text is. So this is the layer text comes from. It'll open up this little effects control here, and suddenly you've got all these different things. So keyframes. Keyframes is a key word for today. Keyframes. So by pressing these little like stopwatch looking things, bang, you've got a keyframe. So when you're animating, it's all in terms of keyframes. So you can have when one thing happens to another thing happens, you put keyframes to mark the changes essentially, and then the distance in between that is then when the animation takes place. So say if you want it to go from one bit here to, by this point, have gone all the way across to the other side of the screen, you can do that. So if you, instead of clicking and dragging, what you do is, where the position is here, where we've made the position keyframe, we drag, not upwards. Oh, in fact, we don't want to do it that one because it's doing the whole thing. Let me just go and find it in here. Transform, there we go. Position, yeah, there we go. So left to right is this one. Obviously, just play around when you until you find which one it is. Let's scroll back up. So we want it to happen there. So we want it to, from in between that time to go from the left-hand side of the screen to the right-hand side of the screen. So we move it all the way along to the other end. Bang. And it should automatically have put us in a keyframe. It hasn't, no. Oh, I see why. I see why. Okay, so we start it from there. Start it from there. Bang, keyframe. Move it across. Also move the text across. And it automatically makes another keyframe. How many layers can you have? Do you know, actually, I have no idea. As far as I'm aware, you can just keep adding and adding, right click, add track. You can add as many as you want. I don't actually know if there is a limit. I've never tried to test the limit, luckily enough. I've not had that many video layers that I've needed. But as far as I'm aware, you can have as many layers as you want, which obviously makes things very easy when sometimes it gets a bit awkward if you've got like this file here, but suddenly you want something on top of that, and then later on down the line, or suddenly you want something on top of that so it doesn't scuff up. You can make as many layers as you want to push that up and up and up. So the thing you want on top will always be on top in theory. brilliant. So we set those 2 keyframes now. So if we play that, wow, it's moving. It's magical. So that's another concept. I wasn't going to go too much into that today, just because that's the animation side of Premiere Pro and making things move is like a whole nother, I think, topic that maybe we could cover another time. Or it's something, if you want to look it up in your own time, you can do. But there's plenty of things you can also do with your videos and text layers and everything else. You can make stuff move. You can make stuff jump up and down. You can make stuff fading and fade out all yourself manually using these effect controls, if you choose that. Part 3, maybe. Maybe that's a good idea, actually. Part 3. So, brilliant. You've done that. That's pretty much your video all done and dusted there. Don't think there's too much more that we could have added to that. Let me have a look. There wasn't anything else. Oh, so then, of course, you want your music to end. So if we Alt and scroll, just to make everything small again. So we can easily find the end of the music. The music ends and the video ends, all when this kind of outro fades out. We want the music also to fade out at the end. So we go to audio transitions, exponential fade. Music fades out. Fantastic. Does exactly what you want it to do. And there you go. So let's play this back. Back to the cinema. So we can play this back for everyone. Let's see this little video that we've made here. Let's watch it together.
I want to clear this up, get this either.
Wow, great video. Oh, I completely forgot one thing I was going to show you actually with this before we watch the end of it. So, with some highlight videos, obviously it'd be quite useful to know who is this person that I'm watching. Because obviously, say, for example, if you're doing it for a team, if you're making like a team highlights package, well, who is this random person on my screen who I'm watching? Who's making the cool plays? Who is it that I want to follow on Twitter after this video because they're really cool? So, if you want to do that, in Premiere Pro, dead easy. There's this little tab at the top you can click called graphics. There we go. If we go back to that, you can see it a bit easier. Graphics. So graphics, you see there's plenty here to choose from that come built in with Premiere Pro, but it's essentially where you can add like I don't know if you're familiar with the term like a lower third. So a lower third is like when on the news. So here we go. Actually, you can see good examples. So when on the news and like on the BBC, for example, and there's a big red bar at the bottom and it says like someone's name and it like flashes up and it says like someone's name and this is the job, and then that disappears and they've got like the time along the bottom and there's like a little scrolling news articles that are kind of going along the bottom of the screen. Those are all lower thirds. They're all known as lower thirds. So if you would like a lower third of this person's name, well, you can do that. There's plenty of built-in ones here that you can use. I am going to use the British Esports lower third that was kindly made by one of our volunteer video editors that we that help us from time to time. So there we go. So you'll notice, here we go. Wow, you've seen that if you've watched any of the British Esports videos before, this little lower third that pops up. When you drop it in, by default, it'll normally have some like default text that you can just go in and edit. So you normally, when you click on the layer that you've dropped in, the graphics layer, if we go back to editing view. Oh, no, sorry, we don't want to go back yet because we can't edit it then. So you drop it in, you want it maybe somewhere just at the start. So you want it to pop up kind of as the video is taking place, as the clip is taking place, it pops up and says this person's name from wherever. So this is Mr. who, no, we'll call him, I've no idea who this is. from who knows where. Fantastic. And it fills it in for you. Brilliant. So now, here we go. Who is this person we're watching? Oh, I have no idea who this is from who knows where. Brilliant. And so now, when you watch the videos, you'll know exactly what it is, and then it disappears for you automatically at the end. Nice and easy. Fantastic. So, if you're interested in throwing those in, that's the British Esports lower third that we use for videos. But, like I say, I don't know if it's the same with all editing softwares, but with Premiere Pro, it comes with a few different like built-in ones that you can just use, or you can make your own. If you're any good at, again, After Effects, you can make your own. There's loads of tutorials on that. That's a big thing, I'd say, as well in terms of video editing. I mentioned this in the interview that I did last time I was on the stream. But a lot of video editing will be just taking inspiration from something that someone else has done. So it's, you watch a video and you think, wow, how did he do that? That looks really cool, that particular effect or that sequence of events that happened. He made that look really cool. How do I do that? Oh, I'll just YouTube something along the lines of whatever happened. And 9 times out of 10, you'll find a YouTube tutorial that tells you exactly how to do it. Brilliant. That'll tell you exactly everything you need to know about various bits and pieces. So if you ever get lost, YouTube, Google, they are your friends when it comes to video editing and finding out how to do particular things or why a particular thing doesn't work sometimes. So we're pretty much at the end now of all the video editing. Now, this is a bit that perhaps you maybe will have forgotten about, but okay, we finished the video. Wow, this looks really nice. I'd sure love to put this on YouTube somewhere. How do I get it from here onto YouTube? You have to export it. So, file in this case, and then where's it gone? Where's it gone? Export. There it is. Should know by now. Press this button plenty of times, and then media, or it said there Control M if you want to be fancy, and then it pops up with this little window. So you get a quick little timeline at the bottom here. So there you go. There's the video in its entirety. So you know it's all there if you want to quickly check through. If you want to say, for example, this is like, I don't know why you'd ever want to do this, but if you only then decided, actually, I don't want the video to start here. I want it to start there instead. Okay, you just drag this little line. That's the start point of your video, and that's the end point of the video, and that's what it'll export and render, essentially. So you come to export your videos, and you see all these words on your screen. You think, what on earth does this even all mean? Well, let's quickly go through some of them. So the format is important because if it's not the right format, it's not going to play. It's not going to be able to be uploaded to YouTube because they only accept certain formats. In most cases, find H.264 because that then allows it to be in an MP4 format, which is nice and easy. Everything video-wise will accept MP4s. So if you want to be able to use that, then you can do. You can click then on the name here, and you can go, right, I want it to save into this little video file, and we're calling it demonstration for this example. Save, brilliant. So that's where it's going to go to. Export video, export audio. We want to export both. We can leave those ticked. You'll then be able to go down. So there's a few different things in here, but the main thing you want to look at is video. So you want to make sure, normally, it'll automatically match whatever it was you were using to edit. So in this case, 920 by 1080. So normal 16 by 9 resolution. 60 frames a second. Very nice, smooth 60 frames per second. Everyone appreciates 60 frames a second. Everything else doesn't matter all that much. I'd say leave that all as it is. Basically, as long as your sizing is right, as long as your frame rate is right, you're off to a winner. After that, it's pretty much you press export. You sit here for a few minutes, or sometimes if it's a long video, might take a bit longer than a few minutes. But you'll sit here while it does everything. This is going to take a fair bit of time. I think, as far as I'm aware, if I would get this right, but it's your processor that makes the difference when it comes to rendering videos. So the better processor you have, I think the faster it'll be at rendering and processing videos. Don't quote me on that though, I'm not quite sure, but I think that is right. So we're not going to let it do the whole thing because that's going to take too long and it'll be a bit of a faff round. But say you've done it, in the end, once it's all done, after this is finished crashing now because I've caused issues with it, we can then go to your videos, wherever it is you've saved it. So you've saved it perhaps to your videos. And here it is in your videos all of a sudden. Videos. So I'll close that down. So this isn't it, but imagine this is it at the end. If it wants to. There you go. It's coming now. Brilliant. So this isn't it, but just imagine it is. So that's your video rendered. It'll play for you at the end. It looks very nice. This is actually from League of Legends. But it plays, it does everything you need it to. And from there, because it's in your documents, you can just whack it straight on YouTube and jobs are good in. So I think that is pretty much everything I had on my list to cover. We've passed 5 o'clock now, so my time is pretty much up. Yes, Alt Tab, that is right, actually, yes. So, GPU, CPU, so your processor and your graphics card, the better, but that kind of stuff you have, generally the better you'll be able to do when it comes to rendering videos, making videos and doing all that kind of stuff. It makes it a bit faster, a bit easier to use, that is correct. So, that's pretty much all I had planned for today. My hours kind of come to an end. We've run slightly over, but that's okay, because if there's any questions that anyone has in the chat right now, I'm more than willing to answer them. It's totally up to you. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. I don't think there was anything else. Let me just check. I had a list going on the side. We've covered that. We've done all of that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is everything I planned. I hope that all made sense. Did that all make sense to everyone? I hope it did. If it didn't, feel free to come badger me at some point. I will make a quick appearance in chat. So there you go. That's me in the chat, Spyran. If you want to check me out, I stream on Twitch fairly regularly as well. Been streaming a bit of Valorant. Been streaming a bit of Ori and the Blind Forest, actually. Been playing through that just recently. Stream sometimes a bit of Dead by Daylight as well. So if you like any of that kind of stuff, come follow my stream. It's a very exciting place to be. That's what I get up to when I'm not kind of sat doing work in these times where we're working from home. I've luckily had the privilege of being able to work at home most of the time, which makes things like this much easier to do in between doing work, because obviously can't do it at work because I'm not allowed to do it at work. But yeah, if there's no more questions, I think that's pretty much everything that I do. So if you want to check me out, my Twitch link is in the chat right now. Thank you very much. Otherwise, if you want to follow my work, if you go to my website, which is also in this Twitch chat, you'll find all past bits of work that I've done, as well as links to all my Twitter, various other social media bits and pieces, my Twitch and everything else. So that's pretty much it from me. Thank you everyone very much for watching. And I've had a great time. I think it's been really good. I hope it's been informative. I hope it's been something that people have been able to follow along with. Like I said, any questions that you have, hit me up. I'll try and answer the best I can. I'm not an expert. This is all self-taught. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't study this. It's all self-taught, things I've picked up on YouTube. So if I can do it, you certainly can do it, because I am useless at most things, as my wife will probably tell you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you very much, everyone, for stopping by. And, yeah, check out all the other things that British Esports are doing. Make sure you follow their channel, because they are a great bunch of people who do a great many things for up-and-coming esports people in the UK, both at high school level and on my level, in terms of like background people you don't normally see, not just players, but also video editors, commentators, all these kind of things. If you're interested in the British esports scene as a whole, make sure you follow this channel because they've got many great things going on. And I think that's everything I need to shout out. Thank you everyone very much again for watching, and I'll see you next time.